The one thing I thought that left me rolling my eyes a bit was that the episode was a little bit of Memberberries.
So...
Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's noon time it's time for a nooner. And if you're like me, you watched the Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 6, yesterday. The 1st, February the 1st. Or 2nd. Today's the 2nd, I'm sorry. You're watching this on the 3rd, so that's why I got confused. So this might have some spoilers in it. It's not really about the Book of Boba Fett, but it's probably going to have some spoilers. So I'm just letting you know now. If you haven't seen Chapter 6, you might want to skip this video until you do. Because I've seen a lot of people online, on YouTube, Twitter. You know what they were doing online? Complaining. That's right. Somebody was complaining on the internet. I know it's shocking and everything, but you do find if you look around for it. Although there's been a lot of complaining about colors of scooters, and if somebody talks enough and now they don't talk enough, and there's always something. But this is something I want to address because last year it was people upset and calling it fan service. That was the big word they wanted to use, fan service. Some reason now fan service has went away. And that's right. They retired fan service. They don't complain about that anymore. Now it's Memberberries.
Ooh, shiny keys. It's like, ooh, a cameo. Yay, this is wonderful.
I don't understand why this upsets some people. It's like some people out there want to go watch a new Star Wars show and they don't want to see anything familiar. They don't want to see any aliens that they've seen in other movies. They don't want to see a sandcrawler. A sandcrawler with a skull on it, like a battle wagon. They don't want to see anything that reminds them of the original trilogy or the prequels or Star Wars. It's like, well, you just go watch some other science fiction show. And I don't understand that. Watching these things. Now, I love this Chapter 6. It was probably the best one so far. I think I need to let it sink in, but man, that, again, spoiler, that Cobb Vance, man, I love seeing him. He was great. And with the Bane guy, the alien guy, Cad Bane, that's the most chilling villain I've seen in Star Wars since, man, I don't know when. That's probably Darth Maul, maybe even before Darth Maul. That put me on the edge of my seat. But people were like, oh, memory berries. Why is Ahsoka Tano in this? They could have just had Luke talking to Mando.
There was no need for her to be in that episode.
I disagree.
Narratively, there was no purpose. Everything she told Mando, Luke could have told Mando.
Well, not really. He was off training Yoda, and they didn't want Yoda, or baby Yoda, to see him, so that didn't make any sense. But people were saying that. They were like, they just put her in there to jar your memory. Well, they probably did put her in there because she has her own show, so you kind of want to build up to that. I can understand that. But it seems like every time there's a little something in the background of Star Wars, something that we've seen before, the Naboo fighter in Chapter 5, R5-D4, and a lot of it in Chapter 5, so maybe I should have talked about this last week, but they just seem to be very upset about memory berries, and that's okay. If you're upset about that, I understand, and I want you to explain it to me to make me upset about it, because I love it. I do. I don't want to sit there and watch a Book of Boba Fett or a Mandalorian show, and they're on some planet of Star Wars I never heard of. They're alien races I've never seen before. There's nothing Star Wars related to it other than maybe the main character. I want to see that stuff. I want to see Mos Eisley's cantina. I want to see one of Jabba's aliens that I know from playing with as a Kenner toy. I want to see that come to life. A Reese. I want to see Bosk back. I want to see, just 8D8 we see in this show. And it's great seeing him in action. Playing, I played with him as a kid. He didn't really have much screen time to do much in the movie. But now I have him as a main character. Well, not a main character, but a side character that speaks and everything. It's awesome. I just really love these, again, like they said, dingle in front of your head, these memory berries. And I don't understand why that's so bad. And maybe it's just me, because if you watch my YouTube channel, when it comes to whatever those memory berries are, I shake them more than I shake my own dingleberries. Because I love remembering my childhood. I love remembering Star Wars that I grew up on. The Slave One. I know we aren't supposed to say that word. I love seeing the Slave One. There was a scene where the Slave One turned upside down, went over the Sarlacc pit. And part of me, the adult side of me, was like, that's kind of silly. How do you think he's going to look into the pit and everything and see his armor? But then I have to stop myself and say, hey, watch Book of Boba Fett, watch Mandalorian, watch the Star Wars sequels, watch Star Wars with that 12-year-old frame of mind. If I was 12 and I saw Slave One, I know I'm not supposed to say that word, I apologize. Slave One, I apologize. If I saw Slave One hovering over a Sarlacc pit,
wowie wow, 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 wow.
So I don't see why that's so bad. But again, why is Memberberries so bad? Again, it was called fan service, but they moved on. I don't know who decided to move on. Like I said, it was a whole year or more of fan service. Luke Skywalker's only in it because of fan service, and now it's Memberberries. But is it just me? Do you like Memberberries? Now, don't get me wrong before you say in the comments section. There is, if it averted away from the storyline just to do something to jog your memory and it doesn't work into the storyline, I can see that. But if you're doing a story and you can find a way to work them into the story but believably, no problem with that. Or even if you just have, let's say, Boba Fett and some characters walking around in a bar, they're in the background. Look in the background, it's Blue Snaggletooth. That's awesome. Hey, look at there. There's that thing. There's a pole from the Death Star or something. I don't understand why that's so bad to people, or why people don't enjoy that. That's the kind of stuff too. The background stuff is even the best, because that's the kind of stuff that makes me want to go back to watch these over and over again and find little things. Now, growing up, if you grew up like me watching the original trilogy on VHS or just recorded it off when it was on HBO, you watched every scene of Star Wars. You would watch Star Wars normally, then you would watch Star Wars again, but your eye would focus on the background. You would pick up all these little details. I was obsessed with Star Wars, so I love seeing all these little details. And now with Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett, there's little stuff in the background hidden. I watch some YouTube videos because I'm not that good at spotting some of this stuff. So I watch videos now where people like show you where the Easter eggs are. And I love finding that stuff and saying, hey, I didn't even know that. There's even some references I don't know because I don't watch the Clone Wars. I don't watch the Rebels. Man, but maybe I do have to go back because that Cad Bane was awesome. That was awesome character, man. That was, again, I say it again, that was the most intense moment I've seen in Star Wars. I don't know how long I was on the edge of my seat. But I'll do a whole more recap of the Book of Boba Fett after I see the last one. And next Wednesday we will do a live stream talking about the last chapter. Every Wednesday we do a live stream. But it's just the Memberberries part that I want to talk about here. Now, let's see why you guys, not you guys, some of you guys don't like that. Again, if it's forced in, it feels like there's no reason for it. If they go to see Luke Skywalker on this Jedi temple and he's training Jedis, and, I can't think of anybody now. Everybody Luke knows is dead. I was going to say his aunt and uncle, but they're dead. Biggs is dead. If he goes there, or, if they just throw somebody in the scene that doesn't seem like they should fit at the Jedi temple, maybe Biggs. Maybe they're all, not Biggs, Wedge. Maybe they're all Jedis at this temple. There's nothing but Jedis. And then it's in just Luke's talking. He says, oh, that's my friend Wedge, and just points him out for no reason. I can understand that. You're like, why is that in there? It don't make any sense. But I just don't understand why people don't like little things thrown in. The Naboo fighter, people go, ooh. I love that. I love this stuff. I know I'm just probably repeating myself now, but I just don't understand, and it bothers me why people don't want to watch Star Wars and see Star Wars stuff they're familiar with, that they remember. Triggering that Memberberry, as they call it. I know I hate the word. I hate saying it. Memberberry. It sounds horrible, and I'm sorry. I apologize. If there's any word that shouldn't ever be said again, it's not Slave One. Say Slave One all you want to. Slave One. Okay, I'm sorry. I probably offended some people there, but if you're offended by a word, then maybe you shouldn't be watching my videos. Anyway, if you want to ban a word, ban the word Memberberries. That's horrible. Memberberries. But let me know if you don't like when Star Wars throws this stuff at you, or maybe you're like, hey, one or two is fine, but they get carried away with it. Every other scene's got something thrown back to the original. Now, I do have a problem sometimes where it feels like maybe the universe is too small when they throw in these. There was an episode, I think it was last week's episode, where he's flying the Naboo fighter, and he runs into some TIE fighter pilots, and one of the TIE fighter pilots is this guy that's been on the Mandalorian. And it seems like every time they run into a TIE fighter pilot, it's always that guy. And I don't know if that's a Memberberry or not. Remember that guy? But I feel like, man, is that the only guy of the Rebels? Is that the only guys? There's like 3 guys. But anyway, I don't understand the Memberberry things. I know the new video sometimes is supposed to be more when the conversation in the in the comment section, so I can get your guys' thoughts on stuff. So let me know. Memberberries. I promise I'll try not to say that word anymore for this video. I don't know why fan service changed to Memberberries. It did. But let me know, is it bad? Do you hate seeing it? Or do you, like me, do you love for it? Do you love looking for it? Do you hope you get to see it? Do you want your Star Wars to give you throwback memories of this Star Wars you grew up on? I really hope so. I really enjoyed that. Well, let me know in the comments below. Try to convince me. Let me know why Memberberries are bad for watching Star Wars. I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget, we'll be back at 8 o'clock tonight. Follow us if you like my content. Subscribe to the channel. We'll talk again soon. Slave one.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.